So, while I'm still waiting for my wrestling video to upload on my other channel, Entertainment Guy, I've done the Passers video, which I'll upload first. And while that one's causing dissent and arguments, I'm going to do the top 10 goal scorers. I'm going to use the brown marker for this one. And let us all pray that I survive this. Number 10 on the all-time, for me anyways, the greatest goal scorers that I've watched. So no Gordie Howe, no Maurice Richard, no Davy Keon, no Keith Magnuson. There's like 3 people out there that'll get Keith Magnuson. I'm old. God, this list is just crazy. All right, let's do this. Number 10. Mike, where's my cup, Gartner? He was on the way to getting a Stanley Cup with the Rangers, but the Rangers made a move to send him to Toronto, and of course Toronto didn't win a Stanley Cup, so Mike Gartner retired without one. He was close, but in the end, the Rangers won the cup without him. And he was very consistent. He scored a lot of goals over a lot of years. Gartner got his 500th goal in his 936th game. I've got that written down on some of these, so there we go. So Gartner was fast. Gartner was a very fast skater, faster than a lot of people gave him credit for. So he'd go to the skills competition, everybody would be all excited about all the young kids, and then Gartner would win it. So Gartner, legitimately one of the best players in the league, and it's a criminal that he never won a Stanley Cup. Number 9. And I'm already kind of getting a headache looking at these names. Oh, if only he had played longer. Pavel Bure. Bure won 2 Rocket Richard trophies in the second and third year that the trophy existed, and then he saw a recurrence of injury issues from there. If Bure had been healthy and had not gone through the injury issues he did, odds are he could very well have been the best goal scorer we'd seen. But because of injuries that happened while he was in Vancouver, during time Florida, and then with the Rangers as well, we never really saw him at that peak for very many years before another big injury season would take place. He had 60 goals a number of times, hit 50 goals a number of times. Absolutely, for my money, was probably the most exciting player I ever saw. That's a whole other list for a whole other time and a whole new headache. But Bure belongs in this list, and I had to cut out guys like Steve Yzerman and Joe Sakic to get him on there, which was tough, and Cam Neely as well. So I'm not playing any favorites here. Bure for me is number 9. Everybody knows Cam Neely's my favorite player ever, right? Pretty sure that. Yeah. Just thinking about it, like, wait a minute, is he? Is he? Was he? Fuzzy Wuzzy was a woman? Number 8. Going into the Hall of Fame this weekend, and seriously, what a great goal scorer. Comes in and scores 76 as a rookie in Winnipeg. And then from there, he's just a fantastic goal scorer, great sniper. No matter where he played, he was really good. The 1 year in Colorado stands out, but that was just a mistake. The year in Colorado was a mistake. He and Korea decided, we'll go to the Avs, we'll win a Stanley Cup together, and it was a mistake. So, outside of that, though, Selanne's career was pretty damn fantastic. I really enjoyed watching his goals. I would have enjoyed them more if he'd ever played for a team that I really cheered for, but I'm quibbling over details right now. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And which one of these 7 am I going to put next on the list? Because it is one hell of a list. It's such a good list that I'm going finish again for number 7. Yes, Jari Kurri, who scored a lot of goals with Gretzky, and then he scored goals when Gretzky left. So when Gretzky went to the Kings, any anticipation that Kurri's goal scoring would dry up didn't happen. Now, he scored better with Gretzky because everybody scored better with Gretzky. But Jari Kurri was a fantastic sniper in and of it, just on his own. He had some really, really solid seasons which weren't Gretzky dependent. And then, of course, he moved on and he moved around a bit. And towards the end of his career, once the wheels fell off for Kurri, once his speed dropped, it was over. And that's nothing new. So when you hear, oh, this guy looks slow, and that's a warning sign, that's been a warning sign forever. Number 6. And again, this is so tough to write down. I may not have liked him, but man, what a goal scorer. Mark Messier. You need a big goal, Mark Messier. You need a highlight reel goal, Mark Messier. You need a really gritty goal where he runs a few guys over, Mark Messier. Messier's spot as one of the best snipers for me is not up for debate. And I've tore him a new one over the Vancouver timing, but he played great in Edmonton, went to the Rangers, and played better with the Rangers than he did in Edmonton. And he was tremendous in the postseason, as much as he was in the regular season, and minus the time at the end of his career when he really was over the hill at the point when he came to Vancouver. He was just simply one of the best goal scorers. And interestingly enough, if you look at his actual totals in Vancouver, he wasn't bad. He got injured a bunch, but his totals weren't bad in Vancouver. It just wasn't what we had expected, and he rubbed fans the wrong way for getting Trevor Linden out of town. That's not a good way to kiss up. That's not a good way to make your new fan base happy. I'm going to take this really popular guy, the one that you feel feels the face of the franchise. I'm going to get rid of him right after I take Wayne Mackey's number 11 out of the rafters, and I dust it off for myself because I need number 11. There were a lot of things he did wrong. And I brought Mike Keenan. Boo! No, bad mark. So number 5, and again, how the hell do I pick between these 5 guys? And when I write them down, you guys are going to know what I'm talking about. Yeah, it has to be. I never liked him. Never liked Brett Hull. Even when he was a Dallas Star, I begrudgingly cheered for him because he was a Dallas Star, but I never liked Brett Hull. And yet, he absolutely was one of the greatest goal scorers. There's the famous one. I'm not going to bring it up again, but he was highlight reel all the time. Hull and Oates, the best duo I think I ever saw, and they actually would have been second best duo behind Kurri and Gretzky. But that's a video for another time. But Brett Hull, what a hell of a goal scorer! I can't believe I just pulled him off the board. Blah. I don't want to do this in a 4-way tie for first. Well, here's where you put the rubber on the road, Shannon. Here's where you nut up and shut up. Sidney Crosby isn't on this list. Mario Lemieux is. Mario Lemieux, deadly goal scorer. And again, highlight reel goals. When he went through the Minnesota North Stars, undressed John Casey and left his jock in the upper part of the net when he scored. That was Mario, man. Mario was so good at what he did, which was everything. There was nothing that Mario did that you look at and go, oh, well, he's good, but Yzerman's better. He's good, but Sakic's better. No. It was Mario. You could argue whether or not he or Gretzky were better. And the only reason that he's lower on this list, I'm not lying to say Gretzky's on this list. Mario didn't play as long, and as deadly as he was, later in his career when his back was bugging him, obviously he wasn't able to do this. And it's too bad that he's lower on the list for that. But remember, I've got him ahead of Brett Hull. I got him ahead of Messier, Kurri, Selanne, Bure, Gartner. I'm not screwing him over here. Mario Lemieux at 4, that's pretty solid. Number 3 is the guy he was always getting compared to, Gretzky. See, this is the thing. Gretzky has all the records. Gretzky and Lemieux were the best guys in the 80s. If Lemieux had played as many games as Gretzky, he'd be right there in points with him. There would not be a lot to choose between the two of them if Mario Lemieux had been healthy all the way through. There's no way. There's no way Mario doesn't score 2,000. There's no way Mario doesn't score 2,500. Mario would be right there with Wayne. They were the best all-around players. This list is just pure goal scoring. Gretzky had a year of 92. Gretzky had a year of 85. He also had over 100 assists both seasons. and over 200 points. It was bizarro world watching Gretzky. And I remember my grandfather just livid when Gretzky's put up these 200 points. And I said, Grandpa, what do you think of Gretzky? And his attitude was, this is not the NHL that I knew when I was growing up. Gretzky wouldn't have lasted 5 minutes with Maurice Richard. Gretzky is nothing compared to the guys who played in the 60s and the 50s. So the whole comparing eras thing, yeah, it goes back a long way. It's just my grandfather didn't have an internet to type that on. Gretzky's totals were fantastic for a while. As an all-around player, he was the greatest I ever saw. Nobody can get close to him. But as a pure sniper, he's not number one. Number two, another career that I wish had gone on longer. Mike Bossy. If Bossy had played as long as Gretzky, Bossy scores 800 goals easy. 900 goals, probably. Bossy was simply the best goal scorer I had seen when I was a kid. So he may not have scored as many as Gretzky. The Islanders did not play the same style as the Oilers. If you'd put Bossy on Gretzky's wing, craziness would have happened. Like, the 212 points, 215 points for Gretzky, could probably add another 15, 16, 20 points for that. And Bossy would have been scoring, would probably have scored 100 goals in a season on Gretzky's wing. Bossy was that good. The Islanders were not a dynamic offensive team. They played during that live puck era when there were a lot of really good goal-scoring teams. But as a general rule, they played a tougher style. They played a more hard-checking style than almost anybody else did at the time, other than the Flyers, of course. And Bossy was not a weak guy either. I mean, he was a gentleman out there. But he could throw a check if he had to. Gretzky, not so much. Mario could. Between the two, Mario was the tougher player, which is ironic considering Mario's career was beset with injuries. Maybe that's part of the reason why. Is because Mario played a more physical style than Wayne. Anytime somebody tried to get physical with Wayne, well, Semenko and then later McSorley and then other guys were employed to take care of him. Bossy, though, was simply a fantastic goal scorer. Simply fantastic. Number one, and there is no doubt in my mind about this. This can be debated a lot, and it will be. It'll be debated for decades. But Alex Ovechkin, if he had existed in the 80s, would have scored 100 goals a year. There's a chart which has era-adjusted totals, meaning you take all these different eras and you mold them into one era. Alex Ovechkin right now, I believe he'd be 60 goals behind Gretzky, and he's played a lot less games than Gretzky did. Ovechkin, doing what he's doing now in his 30s, the fact that he's flirting with being a 40-goal scorer in his 30s, which would have equaled out to about 50 goals back in the 80s, or 55, that's crazy. Ovechkin, his nose for the net is without peril, or without, not peril, oh, there's lots of peril, he's without peer. He really is. He is, for my money, if you could create a time machine to put these two guys up against each other in any competition where it's about scoring goals, I'm there. Ovi has been fortunate not to suffer a lot of injuries. Ovi has been fortunate that he's always played for a Capitals team that has, for the most part, encouraged him to score. Now, I don't know that Barry Trotz last year helped with that, and there was the experiment with Adam Oates. There was the year with Dale Hunter. Depending on the coach, it's been kind of a misadventure for him at certain points. But Ovi is, to me, the greatest goal scorer I've seen. Now, if I'd lived for another 30, 40 years, before that, odds are would have Maurice Richard at number one. And I might have Bobby Hull at number 2. Bobby Hull revolutionized the game. But for my money, OV. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. And again, I know I missed Yzerman, Sakic, Forsberg. There's a lot of guys. A lot. Crosby. There's lots of people you could argue. You could argue Marcus Naslund at points. Not for his whole career, though, but at points, Naslund was fantastic. And Cam Neely, who didn't make the list, and lots of guys didn't make this list. Lots. Tons. Andrechuk. This is easily the toughest top 10 I've ever done. It's not even close. The Passers one was arduous. This is really, really tough. But those are genuinely my top 10 rankings. I thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. And again, let me know your top 10. If you want to do all-time, fine. If you want to do era you've seen, fine. And again, this is one man's opinion. Thank you for watching. I'll talk to you again soon.